We've seen it from the very beginning. Before every one of your favorite Pixar movies, you sit and watch with anticipation as that silly little light fixture hops across the screen and jumps on top of the letter I in Pixar. But why? What's with the lamp? Well, his name is Luxo Jr., and he has a history.
Mix a story with the laboratory, get a story laboratory.
In the early days, Pixar didn't have the most stable foundation and faced many financial difficulties. When Steve Jobs bought Pixar for just $5 million in February of 1986, they weren't in the business of making films. Instead, they were in the business of selling the expensive and powerful Pixar Image computer. When it was all said and done, Pixar only ever sold 300 of these machines. And while they were rapidly losing money, they were also trying to do what they were passionate about: making computer animation. During this downward spiral, the first short film under the Pixar name was created, Luxo Jr. John Lasseter and the rest of his small team worked tirelessly to finish the film before the SIGGRAPH conference in 1986. And John even brought a sleeping bag to work, spending the night under his desk in an effort to meet their looming deadline. Now, in the mid-80s, computer animation was really just starting to see the light of day. Every year, people in the computer technology world flocked to the SIGGRAPH conference to see the latest and greatest in computer animation. And while these images look primitive now, they were captivating at the time. Computer animation was a novelty because it was something new and fresh. But John Lasseter saw beyond the novelty to its potential. As a filmmaker, he saw the technology not for what it was, but what it could be: an amazing storytelling tool. Now, that's not to say Luxo Jr. wasn't a wonder of computer animation technology, because it was, especially for its use of light and shadow. When it comes to the story, we're really looking at more of a situation. We've got a larger lamp that watches closely as a smaller lamp plays with an inflatable ball and then watches in dismay as the ball deflates. Pretty charming, right? But the audience at SIGGRAPH that day was entranced and rose to a standing ovation before the film even finished playing in the auditorium. John Lasseter describes an encounter after the screening in which Jim Blinn, a pioneer in computer graphics, approached him about the film. John thought that surely Jim would be asking him about the computer programs that were used to make the film, especially for the shadows, because those were really impressive. Instead, Jim asked a simple question: was the parent lamp a mother or a father? At that moment, John says, I knew that Luxo Jr. did something that no other computer animation had done up to that point. The most interesting thing to the audience was the story and the characters, not the technology itself. And so the impact of Luxo Jr. on the storytellers at Pixar Animation Studios lives on, as they continue to craft characters full of emotion and take us on their journeys with this tool called computer animation that enables a beautiful fusion of art and science. I think John Lasseter captured this relationship perfectly when he said, "The art challenges the technology, and the technology inspires the art." What better way for Pixar to communicate their value for storytelling than to have this charming symbol bookend each and every story that they choose to tell, even to this day? If this is your first time here at Story Laboratory and you enjoyed this video, hit subscribe to see more and become a fellow lab rat. Thanks for watching, and remember, story is king above all movie things.